GM and VM. Welcome to the inaugural Vagobond Magazine space on, not Twitter, but I guess it's X. So this is our X space. It's our number one X space. Now, we're no strangers to Twitter spaces around here. We've participated, we've run them, we've done them, but here we are. So what is Vagobond Magazine and what does it mean, a Web3 lifestyle unleashed? Well, friends, what it means is we're still defining it. Now, that's one of the best things about the Web3 lifestyle is that nobody yet has really put it in a box. And in fact, I think it can't be put in a box. And that's one of the reasons why Vagobond Magazine exists, is to document this, to share it, to be a part of this journey as people discover what the Web3 lifestyle actually is, how to live it, how to make the most of it, how to YOLO it. You know YOLO, right? You only live once. Anyway, that's enough from me for the moment. I'm CD Demiscio. I'm an author, I'm a writer, I'm a creator, and I'm the founder and publisher of Vagobond Magazine. But Vagobond Magazine would not be what it is without our amazing editorial team. We have an amazing bunch of editors that work with us. Unfortunately, E.R. Donaldson and Cryptoversal Books are not able to join us today, but I am joined by our senior editor, Riona Morgan, and our fashion editor, Quanta. And I just want to bring Riona up and say good morning, and then she'll hand it to Quanta after that. Riona, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so excited to do this. I'm so excited to talk about Vagobond Magazine and all of the amazing things that we're doing. So good morning, CD. Good morning, Quanta. Good morning, Odd Writings. I see you in the space. Thank you so much for coming. So let's see. Let me talk a little bit about Vagobond Magazine and my connection to it and how I first came to the magazine. So I entered the space, the Web3 space, late 2021, early 2022. I actually received an NFT for Christmas that year. So I was just intrigued by what it was and what is this and what is going on. And so I jumped right in. I'm a writer. And I thought, oh, maybe there's a spot for writing NFTs, literary NFTs, something where we can take as a writer and make it be a digital collectible. At that point, I had no idea what I was talking about or what any of that meant. And I joined PageDAO, and from there I met CD, and CD was doing this amazing magazine. And I thought, oh, I want to be involved in that because that sounds like the place to go to get information about Web3 and Web3 lifestyle and where to learn. And so I was just a reader at that point. I was just someone who popped in and looked around, and then CD sent out a note and said, hey, would somebody do a write-up on PageDAO? And I'm like, I will. I will do it because I really want to be involved and I want to be part of all of this with everyone. And so I did that. And then I wrote an article for the next issue and wrote an article for the next issue. And then CD and I started really talking about the vision that he had for Vagobond Magazine. And of course, I'm so excited about all of this. And then January of this year, he asked me if I would come on as senior editor. And of course, I jumped at the opportunity because I really am I keep saying the word excited, but there's really no other way to describe my passion for this or how interested I am in this and how I really feel like the Web3 space is the future of storytelling. And however that turns out to be, it really is. And Vagobond Magazine is at the forefront of that. And it is always keeping us informed of what's going on in the literary space. We have branched out into fashion, which Quanta will beam about because they are so brilliant and amazing. And we've got a book editor who is fantastic, and then E.R. Donaldson, who's just recently joined us. I mean, this is a powerhouse place to be. Like, this is the most amazing place to be in Web3 if you are like-minded and are interested in building the future that we all want. And so I know I've blabbered on a lot, but I am so thrilled to be here, and I'm so honored to be Vagabond Magazine senior editor. And I love my job, and I love the people that I work with, and I can't wait for everyone to mint their copy, pick up a copy, read their copy, and just really be immersed in the world that we're reporting on. So I'm gonna pause for a minute and pass it on to Quanta so that they have an opportunity to share with us their thoughts and views on fashion in the Web3 space. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. And it's really early for some of you. And it's night here where I am. So I'm maybe a little drowsy right now. So I'm going to share a bit about my journey. I entered Web3 in mid 22. And I think at that time it was kind of already buzzed. But at that time there was a co-creation project between Wow and the Fabricant, and it was a contest to create textures, and that was so much fun because it was a completely different medium for me. I mean, traditionally, I'm a fashion designer. I create bespoke wear, and so creating something digitally where I could create with no restrictions. And the only rule was for that contest was to be creative. That is something that got me to explore digital fashion and to write about it. I started a blog on Medium. It's called Dress Me Digital. And I joined Greg Younger's Write 3 group. I mean, it's a fantastic group, and there's so many people who are writers there. And that is where I met CD. And he asked if anybody would like to contribute an article to write about Web3, and the tech for Vagobond Magazine. And that's when I asked him, would fashion do? And it started off from there. I wrote, I think, I contributed articles for 2 months. And I think this was in March that he asked if I would like to join as fashion editor. And I was like, yes, please. First I did hesitate a bit because I wasn't sure that I would be able to devote as much time to it. Though there was a big part of me that wanted to be a part of this. There is, the ethos of Vagabond Magazine. It reflects what happens in what Web3 culture is. Vagabond Magazine encourages you to be creative. I mean, there was no telling. The only thing was, okay, it's about fashion, and it has to do with tech and Web3. But there was nothing else like, oh, you need to fit it in this box, and so, and nobody gets on anybody else's shoes. It's very healthy, and I think the team is like a family. I mean, there is so much encouragement. Everybody is building the other person up. We all have a collective objective to put this magazine out as a platform to share about the cultural landscape of Web3. So I'm so happy to be a part of this. I'm so happy to be a part of this family. Thank you. And I'll hand the mic over back to CD.
Well, I just have to say, I am so happy that you two and ER and Cryptoversal Books have joined me in this journey. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the beginning of this because I came into the Web3 space, which is a really weird thing to say because Web3 is so undefined in actuality. It really is an ethos, but as the space sort of is now, when it was forming, I came into it in late 2020, early 2021. I got caught up in the whole madness of NFTs in 2021. I started to create a company that was going to be a publishing company with Web3 called Lit Ether. And then I met Dylan with PageDAO, and Dylan and I started talking, and they were further along than I was. And we realized, you know what, it's better to work together than to, work against each other. So let's just, combine forces while we figure out what this space is all about. Dylan wasn't able to make it to the space today. He's got a new day job, but he was invited, and hopefully he'll make it to some in the future. But so anyway, with PageDAO, with that whole crew of people, we started experimenting with all kinds of different things. And first, I wanted to do a newsletter that would just keep people up to date on the latest degen stuff. What was going on with. There were so many projects in 2021 that were all just going. But it always felt to me like this is more than just like project updates. This is more than just like a, what's your favorite degen project doing, or your favorite, what's Bored Apes doing or anything like that. It always felt like more than that. So very quickly, the newsletter started focusing on a couple of areas that I saw as really important in Web3. And those areas are, oddly to some, travel, music, literature, and gaming. And those are the big four as far as I'm concerned. I didn't really think about fashion until Quanta came along and asked me, and then I started looking, and she began to educate me on everything that was happening in the world of digital fashion, everything that was happening in the world of wearables, and what you could do with AR and VR, and it's just blows my mind. Now, if you see me, you wouldn't think like, boy, that's a fashion guy. You would think that's a guy that wears a pair of board shorts and flip-flops, or as we call them in Hawaii, slippers, every day. And that's pretty true. That's mostly what I do wear. But I do like clothes. I do like fashion. I do like the expression of who you are through what you wear. And that has really ported over to the Web3 space so well, because think about it. That's what we've all been doing here anyway. We've been wearing our PFPs. We've been wearing avatars. We've been wearing our X profile, or our Instagram profile, or our Discord profile. We've been wearing that stuff to sort of demonstrate who we are. So in a sense, it's all about fashion. And I'm so grateful to Quanta for you brought that realization to me. And Riona, when you came into this space, I remember I asked you to write a quick review about PageDAO just to introduce people to it, because I'd started the magazine, but it was mostly a one-man show. Cryptoversal was, contributing pretty regularly with the lit space, and I just needed articles. So we had a bunch of people contributing, and Riona jumped in and said, I'll write that thing about PageDAO. And I was like, oh, this is great, without knowing any of the the magnificent credentials that sit behind this woman. She's a writer who has outsold Stephen King. She's been a bestseller writer. She was the president of the Montana Romance Writers Association. She has done so much, and she's, writing these things. And then I without knowing that background, I saw everything that she was doing, the energy she was pouring into the space. And I quickly realized, this is a much better senior editor than I am. I'm pretty good as a publisher. I might be good as a creative director, but as far as being a senior editor, this is who we want. And I was so chuffed when she said, yeah, I'd love to do it. So anyway, that's kind of the story of where I started this. So, the magazine itself started in 2022, and we published for the whole year. And then in 2023, we really have kicked it up a notch. And a big part of that has been the excellence that Riona and Quanta have both brought to the space. They've just really forced me to up my level of what I'm producing and how I'm producing it. And they've also educated me on a lot of what's going on. So with that being said, I do want to hand it to Riona, and, what are your thoughts? Where are we at now? What's going on with Web3 lifestyle, with the space in general. What do you think, Rihanna?
Oh, yes, thank you. And thank you for all those lovely words. My goodness. So my thoughts about the Web3 space and Vagabond Magazine's place in it. Well, Vagabond Magazine's place in Web3 is a foundational key piece. It is the piece, it is the place that anyone entering the space. I mean, I always think that people should join PageDAO, of course, because that's how I found all of everyone who I work with. And I also think that they should pick up, secondarily, a copy of Vagabond Magazine, both hand in hand in the same moment. And so that they have an opportunity to see and understand what is going on. We publish the magazine every single month, and there's always new things to add. Like, we never run out of any kind of content. We're always looking and seeing, okay, so which exciting publisher, which exciting project, which exciting event can we include this month, so that people can know and be aware of what's going on in Web3. And it's the only magazine of its kind. There are other magazines that are maybe focused on another kind of niche, but not Vagabond Magazine, where we are a cross section of really anything and everything that's going on in Web3. And the people who work with us all have this amazing knack and amazing ability to snip out something that's really amazing and pull it in. And so I just think that the minute you join the Web3 space, the minute you pop into this new world that we all are creating, grab one of these, read through it, see what's in there, see where your passion lies, and follow that. Jump in and be part of it. And we always welcome guest writers. We always welcome other thoughts and other people talking about what they've got going on and what pieces they have. And so, as far as Vagabond Magazine's place in Web3, it is Web3. It reports on Web3. It is us. And so it's just a beautiful experience, and it's an asset that you really can't do without. So I'll pass it back to CD here.
Rihanna, thank you for that. And I just want to say, I neglected to say, if you do want to check out Vagabond Magazine, of course, we're on OpenSea and Rarible. You can find issues of the magazine. We're also on Tezos, so you can find us on Object, and it's free to read. So this isn't a drugstore. If you're standing there reading Vagabond Magazine on one of these platforms without having bought an issue, nobody's going to tell you, hey, you need to buy that or put it back on the rack. We want you to read it. We want you to see it. We want you to participate in it. You can also go to vagobondmagazine.com. Now, make sure that you say go, Vagobond, not Vagabond. Vagobondmagazine.com, and you can find everything there, links to all of the different issues, links to all of the different months that we've published. But moving on from that, Quanta, I want to hand you the mic, and I would love for you to sort of like give us maybe your vision why fashion is such an important part of Web3, and maybe you can share a little bit about what's happening in Web3 fashion right now, what's happening in digital fashion right now, and just take us down the road of your choosing, because you have so much to say. I know you're a little shy, but at the same time, you have so much to say, and we need to have you on this mic more. So I'm going to hand it to you, Quanta. And also, we're going to give away a copy of the issue from May 2023 to somebody in this space at the end towards the end of the space. So stick around. We're going to give that away, and it's a beautiful issue that Quanta actually did the cover, and there's a huge layout inside of Web3 fashion. Also, so much in there, and it's timeless. Quanta, I'm handing it to you.
Thank you, CD. I'll talk about fashion being a part of lifestyle. Lifestyle is basically a way of living, and what you wear is obviously a part of it. So you could be living off 3 sets of clothes, or your entire wardrobe could be all black, or you could wear anything and everything that is branded. So that is the way that you project yourself. You either follow trends or you be like your own fashion guru. This is your lifestyle. This is who you choose to be. So the fashion section in Vagobond Magazine is called Refashion because we are talking about the evolved fashion. The fashion, I mean, I like to call it neo fashion. It's a fashion that is about expressing yourself with no inhibitions. Um, Traditionally, in fashion, we follow trends. It just makes us feel safer. I mean, we're not out of place. Being a bespoke creator of fashion, I'm often asked to create something that celebrity has worn. It doesn't matter if it would suit you, if it is your personality or not. And this is what got me interested in digital fashion, is because it talks about expressing yourself. You're not following any trends. Any fashion project or platform in Web3 does not dictate that this is trending. They tell you what they are creating, but they will never say, hey, if you don't wear this, you're not trending. So in the digital fashion space, I can wear like a t-shirt and an embroidered skirt, for example, which, I mean, somebody would think twice about doing that in the physical space. So digital fashion gives you confidence to be who you want to be. And that is what I explore in I emphasize in the fashion section in Vagabond Magazine. Um, Here I talk about the facets and say the innovations in fashion technology. Um, the tech fashion, which can also be authenticated as an original. I mean, by certifying it on the blockchain. This is really huge. I mean, NFTs have a bad reputation. I try not using the word NFTs when I'm speaking with somebody, but I just say a digital certificate, and that is what it is. I mean, nobody can really tamper with it, and that's part of authenticating, certifying your wearable, even a physical wearable. I mean, when it is linked to an NFT, your physical wearable, it is certified on the blockchain. So I'm very ambitious about the bridge between physical and digital fashion. Um, where, I mean, I cannot wear digital fashion in the real world, but I would like to have the garments that are special to me. I would like them certified on the blockchain, and it is that intersection that I am most keen on. But I am also enthusiastic about AI, fashion art. Oh my God, there is so much that you can create. I mean, I may want to design a ball gown, but if I feed in my requirements or my projections into the AI model, it comes up with its own interpretation, and then I twist it. So it is like somebody, I'm brainstorming with another entity. I mean, it is my interpretation, but I'm getting a feedback. And I think that is very stimulating. It is a whole different ball game to be able to train the AI model. So I'm really interested interested in AI fashion, how to create AI fashion, use it to create your designs. So also, AR fashion is an experience. I mean, you are enhancing your physical wearable, whatever you're wearing physically. I mean, you're enhancing it with AR. accessories or, sprout wings. You can have prints on a plain t-shirt. So the travel issue, the August issue of Vagobond Magazine, has a fashion spread of AR accessories that you can wear to your on your travels. So your photographs or when your videos, um, it's with AR, so these memories get enhanced, and I think it's a lot of fun. Another thing that I mentioned was also about digital fashion. And yeah, so I think there are these three aspects that I'm very keen on regards digital fashion. I'm going to hand over the mic back.
It blows my mind. For something that I didn't really know anything about, I have to say that digital fashion, AR fashion, blockchain fashion has become one of the things that I'm most excited about in the space. And that is totally on you. It's totally on you, and my daughter plays Roblox, and she's always designing like outfits and clothes to and I sort of was watching that and thinking like, she's maybe got something going on here, but I never put all the pieces together that this could actually be a career path until you came along and introduced us to this idea of how far and how big and how important fashion is to the Web3 lifestyle. Now, it's not the only facet, and we're not a fashion magazine. The reason why we call ourselves a Web3 lifestyle magazine is because we try to look at all of the different pieces that fit together to make up this sort of broad community. Now, one of those things, weirdly, is AI, and we'll come back to that in a little while. But Riona, I wanted to have you actually address one of the major places that the Web3 lifestyle has taken effect. It's what brought all of us together, and that's in the literary and writerly space. Can you address that for us, Riona? How literature is a Web3 component, Web3 lifestyle component?
Yes, I definitely can. I'm super excited to do that. Well, and so let's see, where do I begin? So we all know and are very well aware that traditional publishing has big flaws. The percentages that authors get, the resale of books, authors don't get any income from that. It's gate kept so heavily that the people who have stories and imaginations and beautiful things they want to share with the world, they're just not getting out there. And so Web3 publishing and literary works in the Web3 space have an opportunity to be shared, to be published, to be read, to be bought and sold, collected, traded, kept, cherished. And the writers themselves, they have an opportunity to not only connect and work with publishers who have open door policies, please come in and publish with me, please come in and be with me, but they also get to connect with other writers. And I've been a writer a very long time. CD mentioned a little bit about my writing history, my writing past. My traditional work is housed with Simon & Schuster, and because I've been a writer for such a long time, when I was in undergraduate, I wrote poetry and short stories to enter into contests to help pay for my education. And so that's a very long time ago. And I can tell you 100% with all honesty and no reservation whatsoever that I have never written so much as I have since I've been in the Web3 space. I have never connected with and had conversations with more people, more talented, more lovely, more energized souls than I have since I've been in the Web3 space. All of you and everyone I've met who I talk with on a daily basis, we are so energized and so excited and so looking forward to when Web3 publishing becomes mainstream. And that's what we're all working towards, right? We're all working towards the ability to have our stories take that extra magic leap to be in the hands of a reader, and for that reader to be part of our community, and for that reader to be among the friends that we all are with. And so I want to talk a little bit about the different opportunities that actually exist right now for writers in the Web3 space. There's different layers and different levels, but everyone is phenomenal. Everybody in the space right now have such vision and such hope, and they're so clever. And so I'm just going to rattle off a few of them, and then I want to talk about a couple of them that I'm involved with and that I'm super excited about, because that's my opinion. But I want you to open yourselves up and think about it and jump into these different places and be excited about what you might find in the space. And so there's Book.io, there's Cryptokia, there's Lit, there's Nifty Lit Magazine, there's Readle, there's the Verse, there's NFT books, there's The Quest of Evolution, there's T2 World, there's Storyverse, there's Cosmos Stories, so many things going on. And I may have missed a bunch because I have, if you visit my Twitter or X profile, you'll see that I have a link tree. And in my link tree, there's a list of Web3 publishers, and it's for the benefit of everybody. You just jump in and look at them, and there's a bit of a description about them, and just, look through and see the ones that you're interested in. And so there are also newsletter platforms like Mirror and Paragraph. But really, everybody, all the writers coming to the space, get an opportunity to publish poetry or short stories or novels or nonfiction. They get to have this amazing experience. They get to experiment with the type of writer they are. And going back to my experience in Web3, so I started out when I was a writer in the traditional sense. I was a suspense writer, a romance writer, and now, I'm a really anything I want to try writer, because there isn't anybody that's going to be like, no, I don't really think you should do that. I am loving. I wrote my first paranormal. I wrote my first futuristic. I wrote my first collaboration with other people here in the space. And that's just since I've been here in the last year. And so, I can't even tell you how excited I am for the future things and all the things we have coming. There are so many amazing things that the people that I work with on a daily basis that we are creating together. And I want everybody to come join us, come be part of this with us. Come lend your talent, come lend your passion, come be part of all of this with us. And so step outside your comfort zone if you want to, or play on your strengths also. And so there's in the space, there's a way to collaborate with musicians. There's a way to collaborate with artists. There's a way to earn rewards for reading. And so it's really limitless, boundless, and we really are all creating the world we want. And so I can't wait for you to come join us. So thank you so much. And CD, I'll pass back to you.
Everything that you said there resonates so heavily. And probably the biggest takeaway that I got from that is really that the Web3 lifestyle and being in the Web3 space means that your voice gets heard. It means that you get to experiment, that you get to be and do the things that you want to do. The barriers to entry that traditionally exist that keep you from designing the clothes that you want to wear, from wearing a t-shirt with a skirt, from writing a paranormal science fiction horror story about a baby, if you want to do that. Like, those barriers are all lifted, and you can do what you want, and you can express that. And there's so many other things too that also like tap into that. Like, you get to be and do what you want. That's the fashion and the literature. But the other one is you actually make real world connections that will blow your mind, and not just real world connections, but digital connections and friendships that may eventually or may not become real world friendships. I have friends who exist outside of the Web3 space, and they hear that I am collaborating and in business, in some cases with people that I've never met, in some cases with people that I've never seen their real face, that I don't know their real names. It's such a bizarre concept for other people, but that's part of this huge playground that we're all in, this Web3 playground, and when you do get the chance to meet people, it will blow your mind. If you haven't already, what you'll discover is that, oh my God, I already know them. And that comes as some sort of a revelation the first couple of times. And honestly, it comes every time. But you meet someone you've interacted with online, you hang out with them for a little bit, and suddenly you're like, wait a minute, we just met. But you didn't just meet. You've known each other for a while. And a great example of that is Riona Morgan, who says that her schooling was so long ago. But we've met in real life, and I can tell you it wasn't that long ago. Maybe it was a while ago, but not that long ago. We co-hosted a panel at NFT NYC last year where we also got to meet Greg Younger and Edward Carpenter, great friends of ours in the space who are real life friends and digital friends, and so many other people. And it was amazing. But the thing that happens is travel, right? So travel is I believe, one of the foundational things that the Web3 lifestyle is built around. Now, I come from a background of travel. I was an early travel blogger. I was an early, for a very short period of time, travel influencer. But more importantly, I was an avid couch surfer. When couch surfing came up, I'd written a book that was about how to travel and live your life without having a huge fortune behind you. And one of the things that I had talked about was this idea of couch surfing, and the platform couch surfing didn't exist at that time. So what I was talking about was mining your network and finding people that you know, or that the people that you know in the places that you're going, and then connecting with them, through a shared interest, through a shared friend. And the guy who invented couch surfing, Casey Fenton, he reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I've created a platform called Couch Surfing, and you should really dig into it because it's aligned with everything that you talked about in your book." So I did, and I instantly fell in love with it. I traveled around the world using couch surfing. I made so many friends. I met the woman that I married through couch surfing, as amazing as that sounds. And couch surfing is like a proto Web3 lifestyle. What it was, for those who don't know, it was, if you have a spare couch, a spare room, you allow people coming to your city, to the place that you live, to use it. And then not only that, you're a host to them. So you share your city, you share the things that are there. And then when you want to go someplace, you have someplace to go. And it was a very reciprocal, mutual sort of network of people that all helped each other out for a while. And it still exists, but it's changed. They all helped each other out, but more importantly, they built this huge community, this global community of trust and friendship. And that is kind of what Web3 has done. So back to travel, going to that conference at NFT NYC. I've been to conferences in LA, New York, small things here and there, other places, in Austin at South by Southwest a couple of years ago. And everywhere that I went, I met people who I'd interacted with online. And so the travel part is really important because you go to these places and you're not a stranger in a strange land. You're a person who knows somebody there. You're a person with friends. You're not traveling solo anymore. You're traveling with a group of people, a trusted network of people who are all working towards the same thing. And that is really what, to me, the Web3 lifestyle comes down to. It comes down to being a part of a trusted network of people who are all working towards the same thing. And what are we working towards? We're working towards a better way of living. We're working towards a better way of existing. We're working towards a better way of being inclusive and adaptive and functional in a society that's changing so quickly, in a world that's changing so quickly, and discovering ways that we can zig when we need to zag, and zag when we, or however that is said, we can zigzag. But that's what we're talking about with the Web3 lifestyle. Now, there's another aspect of the Web3 lifestyle that I think is very important, and that aspect is gaming. Now, I'm not much of a gamer. I play some games now and then. We don't have a super gaming editor yet, but that's one of the things that we're going to be finding. Someone who can dive into the Web3 games, look at the gaming world, share the gamer culture. Another thing in the Web3 lifestyle is street art and street fashion. So street art and street fashion are so key to this, and the reason why is because they are expressive of who people are. They are unleashing yourself without boundaries and putting your mark on the world somehow, whether it's through something that you wear, whether it's through a brand that you like, whether it's through tagging or making art or digital art, it doesn't matter. Now, at this point, I want to invite our friend Odd Writings up. I also want to just open the mics up to Riona and Quanta so that we can just have a free-for-all conversation. We can talk about these various things. Now, this first space, though, I do want to point out, this has been mostly us talking about who we are, why we're here, what the Web3 lifestyle is, what Vagobond Magazine is, and how we came here. In the future, it's not going to be a repeat of this. Every space that we do is going to be very different from this one today, but we're going to bring Odd Writings up. And how are you today, sir?
Hey there. Thanks for letting me speak.
And, at this point, we can just talk over each other and have conversation. If you guys want to open your mics anytime, just go ahead, and we'll just try to be respectful as always, right?
Okay. Well, yeah, that's great. I'm looking forward. I've been working on the article that that you were so kind, CD, to say, hey, yes, I can contribute to the next issue. With the article I have about, I was a curator for an anthology for the Verse. And I thought it would be nice to have to write an article on how I did that. And Vagobond was nice enough to say yes, certainly. And I'm about 90% done with it. I'm almost finished. And of course, I'll let you see it obviously before I guess that's kind of that's I'll send you a link to it so that and Riona especially because since Riona is the editor. Take a look through and make sure I don't have any glaring, blatant errors or whatnot. But it should be coming your way here pretty soon, probably in the next couple days.
We can't wait to see it, honestly. It's our honor to publish it. Thanks for thinking of us and bringing it to us. You say thank you, and I was big to let you do it, but that was an easy decision, George, for sure.
Thanks.
I agree. I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited to hear about your experience and to learn more about the platform that you are working with. So it sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think it can be helpful for people, especially for future curators and for others in the space, to just kind of see the issues that because this is the first time that I was curating an anthology. So I learned quite a bit doing it. And I wanted to share that knowledge. And also the way that Verse went about doing it, I thought was pretty impressive. And I think they had some good ideas as to how to manage and organize the whole thing. So I figured it's something that I want to put out there and let people know about. And I do own a few issues of Vagobond Magazine, and it's a good magazine. And so, I thought this was a good spot to put it.
Hey, do you own the May issue, by the way, George?
I do. I own the one. May, I'll have to look. I'll have to take a look. I don't remember now quite which ones I have and which ones I don't. I know I've got the very latest one.
Well, if you don't have the May issue, reach out. We've got one for you for sure. Thanks for coming and contributing today and being here. So that's one issue to give away. We're also going to give one away to somebody that listens to this after the fact. So if you listen to this after the fact and you enjoy it, then go ahead and throw your address down below after we retweet the finished space. And we're going to pick one person who posts their address and send them a copy of VM as well.
So it looks like every month you guys, I think there were a couple of months where there was a gap. I'm not sure if that was due to taking a vacation or if y'all are planning to do it every month or maybe every couple months if it's flexible. wondering about the frequency of the editions.
We're completely flexible, except maybe not. But one thing that I decided early on was that summer's kind of a lag month. Or a lag couple of months. Everybody's out enjoying family and time away. And it just occurred to me that, I always admired the fact that teachers get the summer off. So why don't we just build a model where summer isn't a time that we actually are working? So we decided to take the months of June and July off. And that's why we have the gap from May to August. The other thing that we're going to do is the same thing kind of happens in winter, our Northern Hemisphere winter. So we combine the January and February issues into one issue as well. So that means that we're going to have a total of 9 issues every year, just like we did in 2022. And this year, we do have some things changing. So we have some conversations going on in the background that, we can't give all of the information about that. That's what we're doing. But what we're considering is we're considering making some big changes. And so that might mean that October, we will take another pause, which isn't a terrible time to pause, especially if the markets are still like they are today. But don't worry, we're not going anywhere. We will definitely be back after that. But we might need a little bit of time to figure out exactly what we're doing.
Well, it sounds good, and it sounds enticing.
Well, hopefully we're making somebody thirsty for it.
No, yeah, we're really, really, really so excited about this. I can't tell you. I mean, each time I was speaking with Riona the other day, and each time we have a meeting, and it's night where I am, and I just can't go to sleep. It may be like 11:30, 12 at night. We just can't go to sleep. I mean, there's so much excitement, so much energy. I just don't know what to say. I can't put it into words.
I know, I agree. I keep saying I'm so excited, and then maybe there should be a better word, and so it's just so exciting. It is going to be so brilliant and so amazing, and I can't wait for everyone to see all of the things that Vagobond Magazine becomes.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what it is, too. Our August issue is on fire. And speaking of travel, you can read a little bit about couch surfing and how it connects with Web3. You can check out a lot of the fashion. But Quanta, your section in the August issue was absolutely amazing. And if you want to dive into some of the stuff that we're doing for the September issue, too, I would say go right ahead. We don't mind giving a little bit of sneak preview, some alpha.
Yeah, I'm not going to divulge much, but so the September issue is focuses on it's the literary issue. So even fashion, I'm trying to incorporate the literary aspect of fashion. How, I'm not going to reveal that right now. I mean, we'll just wait for the issue. But what we're doing is, at this moment, we are kind of creating a game. We're building a story, and it's we call it Thread a Story, and everybody makes a sentence. I mean, of 5 words. It could be complete or incomplete, and adds to a sentence that has been shared by somebody else. So, you build a story this way, you kind of, challenge the other person, you twist their story. I may perceive a certain, I may think of something when I'm writing the 5 words, but you may totally change you may change the vibes. It may go somewhere else that I've not even thought of. And then, to bring it back. So the story, I mean, the game is still on, and it's on till the 24th. And what we are going to do is we will be printing this in the literary issue that's going to come out in September. And it's already getting so crazy. It's so wild, and it's so much fun. I don't know how to express, but it just gets me excited. And like every 3 hours, I'm checking where the story's gone. And you can't add to your story. You need like a gap of like 3 or 4 entries before you can add to it. So that makes it crazier still. You should check it out, and you should take part in it. You should be in it.
Oh my God, Quanta, you are so right. And I want to give you full credit. You brought this game, and it's a little maddening because you start thinking that you know where it's going to go. You start thinking like, okay, this is maybe where we can like take this. And then someone throws a complete curveball and it goes somewhere else. There was a couple of them that I just was like, oh my God, what are we going to do with that? And maybe I threw one of those as well. But it definitely is so much fun. If you guys aren't already in the Vagobond Magazine Discord, get in there, play the thread of story, get your voice heard. You'll be published in the next issue of Vagobond Magazine. Why not? Riona, you've jumped into the game a little bit.
I did. I think I wanted to make certain that I had an opportunity, and so I schedule my life to like the nth degree because I have a different job in real life, and so I'm really big on what time is what thing happening, and then I wanted to just make sure, and so I jumped in right away as soon as it went live, and I never thought in a million years the way the story would go, and so I am loving it. It's so much fun, and so I'm like Quanta. I jump in every 3 hours or so to see what was the last thing, what did they say, and so yeah. If you're not in the Vagabond Magazine Discord, is there a way to share that link here in this CD on this space here so that people who listen now or in the future, they can jump in and follow along?
Oh, there definitely is. That's a good idea. I'll do that now.
Good. And so, I guess I could share a little bit about what I did for the August issue and then what my plan is for the September issue. So for the August issue, I wrote, I write under the article a genre of roving with Rihanna because I never know where I'm going to go or what I'm going to do or what it's going to look like. And so leaving it open to that is really great because I just write about whatever inspiration strikes me. And so this time I wrote the travel edition, and I really talked about in the article, I talked about how NFTs or digital collectibles can be part of our travel experience. And so, there's so many people who go someplace and they buy a sticker to put on their suitcase. Well, what if there was a sticker to put on your suitcase, but you also got the corresponding digital collectible to have in your collection, and you were able to show and keep track of all of these amazing things? And so that's really what I talked about. And I was lucky enough to travel so much this last summer. I spent a lot of time on the East Coast, like CD said, with NFT NYC. And then I got to go to Iceland and Ireland and Germany and Austria even. And so what I ended up doing was, as a partner to my article, I published published some pictures on Object to be a partner to the article in Vagabond Magazine. And so people could just go in and like mint a picture. I'm not a photographer in any way, but some of the pictures I took are really kind of great. So if you wanted one, you could go get one. It's just a fun thing. It's just a fun thing to illustrate how travel NFTs or how travel digital collectibles could become something. And so I just thought it was really a fun way to approach that. And then for September's issue, I am starting a series on Meet the Web3 Publisher series. And so I've reached out to about 14 different publishers in the Web3 space, and I'm waiting to get information back from them. And everybody I've talked to they're really excited about the opportunity to share information about their platform and to share their vision and their goals and their purpose and why they are building in the Web3 space. And the first publishing platform that I'm going to talk about or talk with is Storyverse, and they are the storytelling gamification of create your own adventure, read your own adventure, and I'm a writer for them, and I'm actually currently writing a story called Chasing Shadows, and they have partnered with the Board Ape Yacht Club, and they are opening it up to lots of other blue chips in the NFT space so that there can be stories written about their characters as well, their PFPs as well. And so I really want to focus a little bit about their platform. And so that's what I'm going to do for September. So that'll be a really interesting article. I think it'll be really fun to put together.
Well, you guys, for the September issue, I've got a couple of things on deck. I'm going to be looking at a few Web3 heavy lore things. We've got an amazing project called Mindful Monks that is going to come in, and hopefully we'll get it in by the deadline. That's our friend Jay Croft, and he's going to be sharing some mindfulness tips and how to like keep your head in this like crazy space that's constantly changing. Also, I've posted up in the nest there, or maybe what do we call it now that it's X? It's not a nest. Anyway, my book, Notes from Nowhere, we decided to take all of the author royalties from that and donate it to the victims of the Lahaina fires on Maui, based here in Hawaii. The book is about Hawaii in the future, so we're going to be doing that. So I posted that in the nest, and I'm going to talk about that and what we're trying to do and what we hope that book can accomplish. So all of the royalties coming to the author, the illustrator. We've taken all of those and we're donating them all to help those who are struggling right now, and there's a lot struggling. But you guys, that's about where we are right now. We're just about at the 1 hour space. I like to keep these spaces to about 1 hour. If you're thirsty for more, you can come tomorrow to the Web3 Writers Hour. We hold that every Tuesday. That's Cryptoversal Books, Edward Carpenter, myself, and a whole gang of people, including Odd Writings, Riona, Quanta, you've come there as well. And you'll find an amazing conversation about being a writer in Web3, being a reader in Web3, and all things Web3 writers might be interested in. So that's tomorrow at this time. Our ending time today is going to be when we start tomorrow. We started a little bit early on my end today and a little late on Quanta's end, but that's a happy medium. So hopefully you've enjoyed this first episode, first space of Vagobond Magazine as Vagobond Magazine. And oh, hey, if you're in the space and you don't have one and you'd like a copy of our May or our August issue, throw your address down below. We've got a couple issues we're going to be giving away to people that post their address down below, that share and retweet the space after we're done. So go ahead, share it, follow everybody, all the speakers, and really just have a great day. But we'd like to give you some free stuff too. Any last words from you guys before we close this out? Do what we have to do.
I love you all.
I love you all too.
Can we have a virtual group hug?
Group hug.
Group hug. And George, I think you gave us the perfect closing line for Vagobond Magazine. Let's all just say it together. Open your mics and we'll all say, I love you all. 1, 2, 3.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you all.
Have a great one, you guys. Thanks for coming and thanks for listening. We really do love you. Bye.
Thank you.